Just welcome to our webinar on Breach Secure Now and Avanan. I'm going to let everyone have an opportunity to get in, get settled. We've got a lot of attendees today, and you're all piling in right now. I'm going to be incredibly respectful of everyone's time. I won't start later than probably 11:01, 11:02. So we'll get rolling really quick. But again, I want everyone to get their speakers going, their microphones running, everything that they need to get settled. And then we will light this candle. It is being recorded, just so you know, so you'll be able to share it with team members and everything that you need to do after this particular webinar. But I'm super excited that we can get together, we can talk through these new tools, what do they look like, and the value, ultimately the value that they bring your organization. And the value is staggering. So let's give it, it's 11:01, more just came in, so if you can just bear with me. I just want to make sure that those that signed up have an opportunity to jump in, because you know how it goes. You go into Zoom and it's like, hey, there's an update available, and you need to update before you can attend. So I think by 11:02 that should be plenty of time. All right, let me see panelists. Ooh, yeah, Craig joined us. Awesome. All right, we're getting close. For those of you that just hopped on, just let you know we're going to start at 11:02. Just want to give everyone an opportunity to get in, get settled, strap in for what is going to be a lot of information coming your way, but it's all really great information, and it's going to be easily consumable. All right, we are at, more people just came in, but we're at 11:02, so we're just going to go ahead and light this candle. All right, first, welcome. Appreciate all of you taking time out of your day to come and learn about our new anti-spam, anti-phishing solution and our cybersecurity training solution, which is Breach Secure Now. So you know who's on the call today. We are very fortunate to have Ethan with Breach Secure Now. They are an incredible vendor, one of our faves. The response time, the interaction, the engagement that they've had with our team in order to try and make this as successful as possible has been phenomenal. So Ethan, welcome, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to spend time with our clients to tell them about this wonderful solution that you have. We also have Craig, our senior engineer. He's on the call. Every one of you knows Craig. He's here in case something gets in the weeds and we need a technical response to it. But he's also here to take notes if there's any technicalities that we need to address in your particular tenant with either one of these solutions. And then we've also got Joanna, who's in our marketing department. She's here to make sure she can hear me and you can see me too, right, Joanna? She's saying yes, I'm sure. Yes. And then important too, Joanna, when we share our screens, if you can't see our screen, please let us know that. I've been on a webinar before where it was 20 minutes into it that someone didn't realize the screen wasn't actually being shared. All right. Welcome, everybody. My name's Cohen Barnes. I am the general manager of Sundog, and we're here to talk about the new spam phishing anti-spam solution, anti-phishing solution, and cybersecurity training. I want to kick it off and communicate first, why did we make the move? Why would we have changed? Y'all had iron scales. You had that red button in the top right that you click on to be able to report phishing. Many of you, not all of you, had Proofpoint, which was another anti-spam solution. And because of the growth that we've experienced at Sundog and the contracts we've been able to negotiate with a lot of vendors, including Breach Secure Now, because of the quantity of licensing that we could get, we actually came up with the ability to move to Breach Secure Now and Avanan, which are vastly superior to Proofpoint and iron scales, and be able to deploy that to all of you with no cost. I want to repeat that. We were able to bring this to every one of our clients, every end user, at no cost to you. And that was something we were really excited about and really proud to be able to do. So again, these tools elevate your cybersecurity. These tools elevate your cybersecurity training, and ultimately they're going to protect your organization at a level that we couldn't do before. The other tools were great, but boy, now it's game on. Now your cybersecurity is at a level that it's never been before. And again, we're incredibly proud about that. So what we heard from you all, and one of the reasons that guided us in this direction is many of you talked about, hey, can we do annual cybersecurity training? And looking at the attendee list, I know a lot of you, I personally have been in your organization. I've given the annual cybersecurity training, which is fantastic. I mean, what more could you want than having me come up and do it? But what we realize is that isn't necessarily scalable, and it's not conducive to a lot of the ways many of you run your organization. You've got multi shifts, you've got people that are in and out, on site, you name it, and trying to get everyone together to hear my cybersecurity training, it isn't a feasible thing. So what we needed to do, and what the request was from many of you, now realize not all of you are the same, obviously, but many of you wanted to have the ability to have annual cybersecurity training and ongoing cybersecurity training for your end users in order to meet a variety of compliancy issues too. Like when you think of HIPAA, this is a big deal, and it's going to be a huge deal with HIPAA, with some real teeth behind it that's coming, right? You could talk about CMMC. You could talk about a variety of other compliancies, whether you're in manufacturing, whether you're in healthcare, it doesn't matter. But then also, we all get those cybersecurity insurance questionnaires. And one of the things they're asking repeatedly is, do you have cybersecurity training? And Breach Secure Now really checks that box. And I can't wait to get into it with Ethan. But then also from an anti-phishing perspective, an anti-spam perspective, Avanan, we've been using that internally at Sundog now for, shoot, it must be 6 months, 8 months. Really impressed with the program. The amount of spam that I have had reduced out of my inbox on a regular basis is awesome. So again, super proud to bring this to you. I know we rolled these all out end of year. I mean, end of year is a tough time. We all have end of year issues. We got tax, we got audits, we got all that going on. Plus, we've got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas, people having time off and all that. And that's why we thought, why not just have a moment and have a webinar to have all of you be able to ask any question that you might have. So hopefully we can address them here. And if we can't, we'll get the answer and we'll address it later. Which brings me to a little housekeeping. If you have any questions for us, if you move your mouse down to the bottom of the screen here in Zoom, a little toolbar will come up and there'll be Q&A. Type in whatever your question is for Q&A. Many of you have already submitted questions beforehand. In fact, I have, it looks like 18 different questions that hopefully over the course of this presentation we're going to address, but if not, I'm going to be checking them off. And if I forget one, by all means, put it in the Q&A and go ahead and let us know. And again, this is recorded, so you can review it later, or you can share it with your team. All right. Last thing, let me check my notes here. Again, any questions you have, even if we've answered them all on this webinar, any questions you have going forward, please reach out to your account manager with them, whether it's Andy or Desiree. Just any question you might have from a technical perspective or just a rando question, reach out to them. They will work with our team to get you the answer, because it's important that we get all of you to really maximize your interaction with these particular solutions, especially Breach Secure Now from a cybersecurity training perspective. And why I say that, I'm about ready to move on. Don't worry, I'm going to stop talking. Well, I might not stop talking, but I'm going to get into the meat of this thing. But you realize we provide, and I think the number one thing Sundog crushes is the layered cybersecurity tools that we have in place at your organization. We do an amazing job stopping breaches and hackers and bad actors in general on a regular basis in your organization. But there's always a gap, and the gap we can't directly control is your staff. People, the bad actors that are out there right now are at a level we've never seen before. Sprinkle in artificial intelligence, so their phishing emails are just wicked good, right? Social engineering, deep fakes, being able to impersonate voice, being able to impersonate actual someone's appearance when they talk. But then just the smaller things like being able to get into your Microsoft 365 account and assume your identity, and you don't even know that. And they're interacting with your clients, with your vendors, with your board members, and that's independent of the user that is part of that Microsoft 365 account that has no idea of it. So the cybersecurity training, that Breach Secure Now that we're bringing to you to get your end users to be able to take those training videos, to understand the various threats from vishing and phishing and spear phishing and all that, they're going to become better educated, and their guard's going to go up. And if their guard's up, that means the protection in your organization, your cybersecurity level just got elevated. So this is a team effort. You have Sundog out there to provide all the tools possible to make you as secure as possible, but we also need help from you to let's encourage your end users to take the training. We're going to talk a lot about that. All right, I'm done talking. I want to get into the meat of it really quick. So I want to cover Avanan. Avanan is the anti-spam, anti-phishing solution. This is kind of cut and dry. It's in your Microsoft 365 tenant. It's already there. It's already doing its thing. And ultimately, there's not a lot of interaction that you need, but there is a little. So let me bring up my Outlook. Let me share my screen, and I want to show you what I mean. So what's important about Avanan is it embeds directly in your Microsoft 365 tenant. So it is part of Microsoft at this point, and it's part of Outlook. So what it's doing is when all mail comes in, it is automatically looking for, is it a phishing email? It is looking for, is it spam? And it's go ahead and quarantining it and doing its thing. What's important about it though is, and what makes it really easy, rather than having another button and all that, all what your end users have to do is if they got an email, let's say it was this one, but it's don't do this one because this is Breach Secure Now's weekly training. But if they just right click on it like they always have and go to report or block, that is automatically going to sync to Avanan and it's going to block those emails in the future. Just like it's native to Microsoft Outlook. You also have the report button up here that some people have. They can report phishing, report junk, and go ahead and do that. And it's going to go ahead and synchronize with Avanan. Ethan's going to clarify the difference between catching a fish and reporting a fish here in a little bit. But ultimately, there is nothing more the end user has to do to interface with Avanan when it comes to a reporting perspective. What I love about this program is every day I get a nice little email, sometimes multiple times a day if there's a bunch of them, but it just shows me all the spam that I've gotten. Now, check this out, right? These are, this is from the 12th, so this is yesterday. This is all the stuff that I get on a regular basis. And some of these, they're not just spam. And here's an important distinction for you. If you look like this, the buyer's guide to financial management software, awesome. I can click release and I can release that email and it'll come to my inbox and I can read it. Awesome. But you're going to notice some of them say request to release. And what this means is the technology that we have in Avanan, it's looking at that email and it said, okay, this is spam for sure. But we're worried because there's links in the email, there's other things going on in this email that we actually think this is a malicious email and it's a bad actor trying to trick the end user, your staff, to be able to click on it and interact, which ultimately could be a breach from a cybersecurity standpoint. So the end user, your staff, can't just release it, send it to their inbox and click, 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 right? That's bad. What it's going to do is it's going to do a request, and that request is going to come to us. We're going to evaluate that particular email, and if it looks like it's just a spam email, if they really want it and they want to read the junk, fine. But we'll determine that there's no threat associated with it and make sure that it's safe to be able to deliver to the end user. That's what I love about this, but it's this easy. This is all your staff has to do on a daily basis. Look at the quarantine or not, but if they want, they can look at the quarantine and they can go ahead and click release. So Avanan itself, like if I click on release, let me do this real quick. You know how a live demo goes. I'm gonna put in my email address. If I could type, I know all of you are looking at me, so it always makes you nervous. Receive a verification code in your inbox, and of course, it's just because I was playing around with all the security stuff that we have. So I'm just gonna jump right to email security portal. Bam, I'm logged in. This is if I ever need to look and try and figure out where an email is, I can go ahead and just sort by all emails and I can scroll and try and find the particular email that I'm looking for in order to click on it and in order to hit restore. And you can see this one says it's detected as spam, right? If I click, let's see, detected as spam, here's one of those, the request to restore, right? Suspected phishing email. And I click the request to restore. It's interesting because it looks like there's something embedded into this particular email that it ultimately is suspicious. So it's going to go ahead and just say, hey, I want another set of eyes on this before I release it to the end user. This is it. Weekly or a daily email that comes to you. End users can click, send it on, or they can request to restore, and they're going to get those emails, right? They can come in here to the quarantine. They can look, see if there's an email there and do the request. Ultimately, what I have found the success rate of this is staggering. Like, I honestly probably look at my quarantine daily email once every 3, 4 weeks. I'm not missing emails anymore. The emails that it is catching and that it is quarantining are straight up legit junk, spam, right? Or they're phishing emails. It's been very liberating having this particular solution. So for all of you, and Joanna, please make sure you're checking the Q&A for me. I want to make sure there's no questions. But this is a non-event for your end users. They get a once a day email. They can choose, do they want to restore or do they just want to look at it? And I think because of how effective this tool is over time, they're only going to go into their quarantine when they're like, man, so-and-so said they sent me something. And I want to make sure that that it didn't get quarantined going forward. So again, I hope you enjoy the solution. I hope it's as effective for you as it is for me, but I have a feeling 95% of you are going to be ecstatic with this particular solution that we have out there. All right, Joanna, are there any questions that I need to be aware of right now?
Not so far.
All right, beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. All right, that leads us into the man of the hour here, Ethan, on Breach Secure Now. And Ethan, what I'm hoping we can do, and I think would be most effective for everyone that's on this call, is twofold. One, they want to see what their staff is going to get and what the staff's interface is, and man, any elaboration around
Yeah.
micro trainings and annual trainings and why it's important, anything you want to do there, great. But then also, if you could, please cover, like, if they're a manager and anyone on this call, if you think, hey, I need access to see holistically in my organization who's taken the training, who hasn't, what their security scores are, reach out to your account manager, let us know, and we'll get you added to that list. I have a feeling most of you on this call have already been added to this list, but Ethan, it'd be great to just have them see what they can see into their organization. And what's important about this, everyone, is the annual trainings are like 25 minutes, Ethan. And
Yeah.
I have already had some of you say, well, they're pretty cheesy. Those actors, I don't know. When I first started taking these, I thought the same thing. And what was funny though is about not everyone, because I'm in the industry, I should be pretty aware of this stuff. But let's say 5 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10, sometimes 9 times out of 10, depending on the trainings, I always learned something. Like I didn't realize, or I didn't think of it that way, that this could be a particular issue in my organization or for myself of how I could be tricked. This training, Breach Secure Now, is one of the top vendors in the world, period. End of story, non-arguable when it comes to cybersecurity training. And what they've done is they've designed trainings that is going to appeal for an overwhelming majority of your staff to be able to let them consume it. Again, the annual training, only 25 minutes. It's not a huge time sink. And then the micro trainings are what, 3 to 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Quick little tidbits of what's going on out there, what's new, what do people need to be aware of, so they've got their guard up, right? So they think before they click, they think before they get that text message, that email, that Teams message, whatever it might be, that they're there helping making sure your organization is secure. So again, Ethan, end user experience, management experience, that'd be great. You run
Yeah.
with it. I'll chime in with questions, help with the Q&A, all that as we go along. So
100%, man.
dig it
Yeah,
in.
let's get into it. I love your joke about the cheesiness. We get that a lot, and I know sometimes they can come across as cheesy, but I always like to say it's cheesy enough that it's not gonna let you look away.
I
Right? Our
agree. I
content
agree.
is gonna, want you to keep watching, even if it's raunchy enough. Like, oh man, I can't believe that joke was made, but you'll stick through it. And a lot of other trainings, right? You'll see if you've taken your OSHA training, your safe serve training, or what have you.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
click through really quick, you don't learn anything, right? And like you've said a few times now, right? What we're trying to do with our security awareness training is really build up your human firewall, if you will. Cohen and your whole team has done a great job putting together a perfect tech package to protect the backend. But I always say, if you think about it as putting security on your home, right, you can put as many cameras and locks on the door, but if the human on the other side of it opens up, all that security means nothing. So that's what we're trying to do, is make sure your humans know how to use the tools that you're providing them and make sure that they're on guard at all times. So I'm assuming I'm sharing my screen now.
You are. I
I
can
don't
see
use
it.
Zoom too often, so all right, just want to make sure. Great. So I'm going to start with the end user point of view of the portal. Give you guys a walkthrough of everything that your employees will have access to. You'll see I am in a manager's portal though. So you'll see this My Company tab. If you have logged into the system at all, and you see this, you'll know you're already a manager level access to the system. Okay.
Yeah, and Ethan, actually, I want to talk really quick too. We have enabled what is called single sign-on.
Yes.
So we are not trying to create another password that people need to be able to get into Breach Secure Now. We've set it up to integrate into your Microsoft 365 tenant. So when they identify their email address, and as long as their email is what they're logged into their computer as, it'll just auto log them into Breach Secure Now.
Mhm.
If that isn't working, please reach out to your account manager, let them know, and I'll make sure we get an engineer right on that to resolve that for you all. We're trying to make it as simple as possible.
Yep, 100%. You'll be able to log in through any links that are sent to either the welcome message or our weekly training emails that get sent out. We'll touch on those in a little bit here. Okay. So I want to start, like I said, with that end user point of view. Everyone's going to have access to this My Dashboard page right here. This is where they're going to go to access all the training content and any newsletters and policies that we have. Our first piece here is the dashboard, aptly named, right? You'll be able to see what's called our ESS score. That's right here in this top left-hand corner. This is how we try and stoke engagement with training. As I said before, it's easy to skip through a training and not learn anything, but what we really aim for is to stack trainings throughout the year so that each employee is showing off what they've learned. So this ESS score encompasses 4 different metrics. That's going to be completion of your annual training, continuous education with your micro trainings, phishing fail rates. So we're going to send phishing emails, test phishing emails to end users. They click on them. Obviously, that's going to impact their score and a negative impact. But we also have a mechanism to catch those phishs and give a positive feedback to them. And then also we're
These
going to
test these test phishing emails, everyone, they're good. I mean, they're really good. So if someone's
yeah,
clicking on it, that is something to be aware of. If they click on it and you see that, then I'd look at their ESS score, and if it's low, that's probably why they clicked on it because they should, with the education that they're getting, overall be almost 100% on being able to identify phishing emails when they come into their organization.
100%. And after clicking on the link in the phishing email, like you said, will negatively impact that score, which will prompt them to take some more trainings and boost their score back up to an acceptable level. You, as managers of the system, will be able to decide what an acceptable level of score is for this. Typically, we like to see people in the good range between 630 and 800. If you want to raise or lower that, I wouldn't recommend lowering it, but again, it's going to be up to you as a business on where you want that acceptable score to be. Okay. Again, you'll be able to track each score, see how you're trending throughout the last few weeks. If you had a negative impact, this, that, the other. Track each of those specific metrics we were talking about, as well as check the leaderboard. This will help stoke some competition within your company to see if you're falling behind any employees or maybe you're top of the pack, right? You're doing a great job. And we always like to incentivize competition, again, to help engage users and make this a little bit more fun. You have no idea how many times I've heard, fun stories of internal competitions and giveaways just around the ESS score. It makes it a lot more interactive.
Yeah, gamifying that, right? Having some sort of
Mhm.
incentive or contest or something is great because we did that internally, and boy, did I got called out by my staff because I
Yeah.
wasn't last on the scoreboard, but I wasn't first, and they made sure to let me know that, which was great.
Yeah, and you'll see it's fun. There's always 1 or 2 employees that want to go get their 800 score, which is a
Yep.
perfect score. I work for the company. I don't have a perfect score, but it is feasible to get all the way up there. So you'll have some fun getting to that. The next piece is our training section. So this is going to have all of our one-time available trainings to end users. I saw there was some questions ahead of the webinar here about all the different trainings available and what to take, right? Now we do have lots of different courses available to you. Our mainstay course, and the course that's going to affect your ESS score the most, is our annual cybersecurity training course. You'll see there's two. That's because I'm in a manager's portal, and there's a managing course right here. What everybody's going to see is this 2026 cybersecurity training course. This is brand new. We actually come out with a brand new course every single year. And if you can believe it, we've actually won the Cybersecurity Training of the Year award. There is an award for that. Most people wouldn't expect it, but there is. So real live actors, our team actually writes the scripts, goes through it all. It's really great. We actually bring in a special employee from one of our clients that use this. So maybe one of you can win this year to actually play in this. You'll maybe see him in here this year, but it's a really great course. So that's the
And,
main one
and
that.
the email that went out on annual trainings called out these are the for a manager, these are the two that I needed to take. So
Yep.
I knew what I needed to take, but people were asking about all the others out here. How do they know which one affects the ESS score or not?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's an easy way to know that, or maybe that's a future enhancement request of calling out ESS score qualified training, you know?
Yeah, and maybe it isn't as obvious. There are, if you click over here and hover over this icon, you'll see that some of them do or do
Okay,
not impact your score. So
there you
this
go.
one does not. You can typically tell though, if it says cybersecurity on it, it's going to impact your score. So this Microsoft cybersecurity course is going to offer you some extra credit.
Mm.
Now, again, we have lots of courses here, and if something doesn't appeal to you or your employees, you can actually turn them off, right? Pretty easily as a manager of the portal. So the cybersecurity one's always going to be available, but if you feel that your team is really up on their Microsoft, you can go ahead and turn that off. Maybe you don't use Google as much, you turn the Google one off as well. Although there are all benefits, right? As your client or your employees learn more and more about the tools that they're using, they become safer. You'll see
In
that
your
they become
AI
more.
training that I took that, I thought it was
Mhm.
solid, man. That was a great holistic understanding of like Microsoft 365 Copilot, if I remember right, and all the different options that were out there. So I would encourage everyone. I know it may seem like it's causing a little bit of confusion, but I would highly recommend you just clarify with your team about just take this training for your ESS score and you're good. But all these others, it's wonderful if you have a team that is doing something in Excel or PowerPoint and they haven't before, or you're starting to onboard Microsoft Copilot licenses. There's trainings in here that you can let them know that it's worth the 30 minutes or 45 minutes to be able to go through because it's
Yeah.
just going to elevate their understanding of the particular product.
You'll see most of these courses are under 20 minutes as the additional ones. And one key thing for this too, um, it does not negatively impact your score if you don't do these either, right? It's only a positive um, if you do take them. Okay. And you can always see what courses you have completed in this section over here, and you'll be able to print out your certificate or just view it, download as a PDF as needed. So if you want to make sure people are taking the trainings, they can print that out. Also, as a manager, you'll see reports, but again, we'll get down to that. Okay. Our next sections are micro trainings. These are our weekly training contents that come out every Thursday. It is a predetermined date, so we're able to shift that around to earlier in the week or anything. I did see that as a question earlier. Um, but these do come out brand new. These aren't trainings that we repeat ever. So it's always going to be on top of what's going on in the world today. Typically at the beginning of the year, we like to start fresh as we get a lot of new people coming into the system. But if you were here over the holidays, you saw we had some holiday scams, things like that going on to keep people, aware of what's going on in
Yeah.
the world around them. Now, since we do come out with these every single week, that can seem like a lot. The expectation is not to take them every single week, right? It's to take them as you can and you have time, right? We always like to think it's more like I always use a basketball analogy, right? The more shots you take, the more opportunities you have to actually hit them, right? So if you put out 4 trainings throughout the month, if you miss one, that's okay. Maybe you'll make the next one, right? Anyone who's taken or tried to deliver training to employees knows that it's a pain in the butt to go and chase down people to actually go and do them. So we think the more opportunities that you have, better opportunities that you have to actually take, right? And again, like Cohen said, these are really quick, 2 to 3 minutes, 4 questions afterwards. They're all true or false based, so or multiple choice. So really, really easy to get through. Right, this one's just under 4 minutes long. Okay. So all good stuff there. Alrighty. Next is we're going to also provide you with a dark web scanning tool. We're going to be helping monitor your domain on the back end for internal. So any user that has any breaches associated with it, that'll display here. They'll be able to work with Cohen and his team to help alleviate that in the future. We also will provide an additional training for that. Also, this will double as a personal email scanner. So if you feel that your personal email has been hacked, or maybe you're getting an influx of spam messages on your Gmail, you can come in here, enter that email address, and it'll monitor, it'll scan through and check what's going on. This will also work for, husbands, wives, kids, grandparents, anybody that may have a breach. You have a free tool here to check up on it. I know I've used it for family members in the past, and it's been incredibly helpful. So always good to check up on that.
Yeah, and those of us with aging parents probably be worthwhile running
Hmm.
their email address through it just to see.
Definitely. Yeah, you never know what anybody's clicking on, and better. It's better to find out ahead of time than when it's too late. So always good to check out. We also provide a monthly newsletter. This has no impact on score or anything like that, but it always does do a recap of what was trained on the year, or on the month rather, and any particular scams that stood out to us. So these will always be right here and actually get sent out on that last Thursday of the month. So in place of that last micro training, you'll get a newsletter go directly to you. The last thing we have is policy attestation. This is again an optional part of the system, but you can work with your account manager if you do need to have this set up. But we do provide you some basic policies and procedures if you don't have any technical pieces in place for your system. Okay, that's the end user point of view. I don't know if I missed any questions on the end user point of view I can answer before I move on to the manager. Or...
Real quick, there was one. Why is my phishing fail rate 100%? I haven't done anything yet.
Okay, that one I don't know if I can answer quickly on here.
Because it
Why it would
shouldn't
be.
be.
It shouldn't be unless you,
Yeah.
Cohen, I don't know if anything got sent out ahead of time. Um, Maybe it had been clicked already and you just had it down.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll dig around in that. Do we have to watch the weekly micro trainings? Like, obviously, you commented on can you set them at the beginning of the week? Are there monthly recaps? Are there tests to verify user comprehension? Just any more comments on why the weeklies are important to do? But
yeah. So again, it's all part of continuous education. We've all taken a course at one point in time where we've clicked through it and a week later didn't really remember anything. When it comes to cybersecurity, right, things are changing every single day. So it's important to stay on top of things and make sure that you're staying sharp and vigilant, right? Because sure, you can do great on the annual training at the start of the year, but 3 months down the line, um, you may have forgotten a couple of things, and that doesn't mean that these bad actors are stopping attacking you. So that's why it's a little bit more necessary to take them. Again, we do put them out every week, and the anticipation is not that you're doing them every single week. We would absolutely love it. That's how you get the highest scores through it every single week. But you're graded on the accuracy of the ones you have completed, not based on the number that you have. It'll boost it, but not by much.
and also, we've got to answer the question, even though I don't want to. But there was the comment about can we turn off the weekly email notifications to our end users?
If that is needed, yes, that is an option. You can work with, I know Craig knows how to do that as needed, and we can turn those down to monthly or quarterly reminders to go take trainings. Um, that's absolutely an option if you don't want to
But
be. But again, that's going to run into the issue of, hey, I'm going to remind you once a quarter. If they get away with not doing it in that one quarter, you're gonna have to wait 3 more months, and that's 3 more months of not even thinking about cybersecurity, and who knows what's coming through their inbox, right? I know we just got done talking about how great of a solution Avanon is and all these tools, but bad actors are working every single day against
yeah,
us, right?
and these
AI has
trainings
made
go
it
well beyond just
easier.
email. It's text messaging, Teams chats, you name it.
Yep.
They're covering all the different ways, physical security, all the different ways that a compromise could have in your organization. So Can we turn it
Absolutely.
off? Yes, but boy, if you really are entertaining that, I would appreciate if you just reach out to me directly and let's have a real conversation about why this is so important. And we're talking 5 minutes a week on micro trainings. I mean,
Yeah,
it is a non-event or non-impactful event in the organization to bring this level of training to your end users in order to protect you from a cyber breach.
absolutely. And again, they're in there knowing that nobody's perfect and that
Yeah.
you're gonna miss one or two. That's
All right,
fine.
let's do manager.
Yeah, let's get into it. So the manager view, right? This is really just a portal to help you, um, check on reports, make sure people are taking the training, and manage the system, right? You'll see there's a very similar um, dashboard to what we'd seen before, but this one's going to track your average score for your company. So you'll see your average ESS score, your trend scores, and your leaderboard for everybody in your system. You can even download a report here in an XLS or a PDF to get a better look at all these and crunch some numbers. Though we do offer automated reports for those, and those can be sent to you on a monthly, quarterly basis, however frequently you want them. Now, a lot of these settings Sundog has done for you already, so you won't need to worry about setting this all up. These are predetermined, but can be edited if you do need to. We offer some basic notifications and reminders for the portal, um, annual training reminders, policy acknowledgement reminders, ESS thresholds. So that's this one right here where you can predetermine I want everybody to get to a 630. It's that good metric in the on the ESS score. If they don't do it within 30 days, I'm going to start reminding them once a week. Right? Again, you have complete flexibility over this. You can even customize the message to say what you want. Right? If you have a engagement around this or some kind of level of competition, this is where you state that to your employees and make sure they were reminded. Right? So all these different options for you to choose from on reminders, and then we also have the automation for reports. You can get a phishing report, an employee secure score report, a dark web report as well to see how everybody's performing. Again, Sundog has set up a lot of these already for you, so you won't need to worry about setting them up.
And if there's any change, like give it a couple months, right, of seeing what automated reports are going out and things like that. But if there's a change that you all want, holler at us and we can modify it according to what's best for your organization and the timing itself.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of customization we can do here. We just applied based off of all the feedback we've had over the last couple of years of what you all wanted when it came to cybersecurity training and holding your end users accountable. We applied that across our entire client base, but we're happy to modify if need be.
Absolutely. Next section here is our training reports. This is where you can check on individual trainings and make sure everybody's completing them as expected. You can toggle between your annual and your micro trainings, and even look into the individual trainings that we had talked about here. So you can go into your 2025 training course, see who's taken what from the last year, obviously the 2026 as well. And you can download those reports, print them out, do whatever you need with them. They're in XLS and in PDF as well. Okay. So pretty straightforward there. Next, we have our dark web section where you can pull some dark web reports. This is where you'll see your own employees' information on your domain. So you can track and see who's using their email incorrectly. If you're shopping online, using it for social media, things where there's most likely going to be a breach, right? You want to make sure that your employees are staying away from that with their work email. You can also check and see any passwords that have been breached. If somebody's using a password one or a last name 123, these are things you want to ensure that you're training up your employee on. Hey, let's use a better practice going forward, especially when you're using your work email, right? You can always press none right there and see that. Now, again, this information will be just restricted to managers, so no need to worry about passwords getting into the wrong hands, right, as needed. And last couple of sections here, we have our phishing reports. This is where you will have the ability to track phishing campaigns as they go out. Apologies here, right? You can see emails that have been sent in the last campaign, emails that were caught, right? And even track and see what kind of email was sent out, right? So you can see what everybody's actually clicking on. When an email link is clicked, you'll be able to track the IP address that it was clicked on. This will help determine whether or not this was maybe caught up somewhere and was a false click. These do happen. It can be easily reset up here, or if it was a legitimate click, right? Everyone's going to tell you that this wasn't me. I didn't click on it. You can confirm whether or not that was the case pretty easily.
Hey,
All right,
Ethan, just thinking of going back to,
go
I was
ahead.
thinking about what you were just talking about there with the phishing emails. Um, and I think we sent this out, but is there a good video that is for end user training that's quick, just to help them understand why am I getting these
Yeah.
emails? What do they mean? ESS score, and then how do I catch a fish if I see it in my inbox?
Yeah, we do have all of that available for you. So Cohen, I can give you some links to those
Yeah.
following this webinar here to make sure that you can share those
And
all out.
everyone on this call, when we send out the recording for this, we'll also resend out top training just for end users, and if any training is available for managers as well from Breach Secure Now on top of this webinar, that would be great. Um, Also, Ethan, you want to show them catch fish?
Yes, if you want to give me 1 second to
Yeah,
pull that up, I don't think I had prepped to go through that
or I
part.
can do that if you've
Yeah,
got it. Yeah,
if
you
you have
got
it
it.
up and ready to go,
I do. I do. Let me
go right
switch
ahead.
over here. All right, let me go to demo. All right, perfect. Ooh, let me find. See, I don't get any spam anymore. So,
Well, it's actually it works on all emails. So if you pull that up on any email,
okay, so it won't interrupt any of my email flow then. Okay, you got it. Let me go to demo. Let me share my screen. Share. Boom, boom, share. Here we are. All right.
yeah,
So I've got my email right here. Let's say, and here's the whole point to this, everyone. We're going to send out those test phishing emails. So a campaign that's going to go out on the regular. And what it's trying to do is it's trying to trick people to click on a link, click on respond, anything, interact with that email at all. And if they do, it means they need some additional training because we caught them, right? And
yeah,
there's no like trying to point fingers or yell or any consequence associated with it. It's more of a, all right, cool. We've identified some people that might need a little bit more training. You end up looking at their ESS score and seeing it's in the 300s and realizing, you know what, this is where those micro trainings may have paid off. So when an email comes in and people think it's a phishing email, just like before with iron scales, you would click on the red button to report it. Same thing here. And in this case, Ethan, right, I would come up here to the catch fish screen, email
yep,
analysis, and it's thinking, it's looking at it.
yeah. The cool thing with this is it's actually going to scan every email that comes through. So typically, if you do this on any email, right, it's going to ask you, what have you reeled in? If this was one that we had sent out, this guy actually has a little fish in a bucket. There's some confetti on the screen, and you get a boost to that ESS score because good job, you used your reporting tool on a real phishing email. Great. But the second half of this, what we're looking at here, if you press next there, Cohen, you'll see
Yeah.
that it'll analyze this email for our senders, links, attachments, and messages. This is our SLAM method. This is what we want to teach users to remember and utilize when they're going through their inbox.
Which is
Uh,
part of the cybersecurity training that they'll take. They'll learn more about SLAM. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is going to analyze and identify any of those different pieces within the email. This is actually going to do a similar thing to what Avanan was doing. Obviously, we have Avanan here when they will, you know, quarantine an email. We want you to mentally quarantine this and say, oh, look, I don't recognize this sender. The email doesn't match the name in here, right? There's a lot of asking me to click on links, right? These are things we want you to identify. This is obviously a fine email because it's from Avanon, so there's not many
Mhm.
alerts here. But you can click through and see what alerts are in the email and learn a little bit more about that as well. Um, since you guys are using Avanon, you'll be able to then exit this if there's a lot of reports or a lot of alerts, and go ahead and report that as a phishing email
Yeah.
through your report button.
So ultimately, everyone, the as an end user, they never need to really leave Outlook when it comes down to it. They don't have to bookmark the Breach Secure Now portal or any of those things. When they see a phishing email, they come out to catch fish, they click on it. It's either going to tell them, is it a phishing email or is it not, right? And then
Yep.
security training is really cool because you can just click on security training right here. And because it's single sign-on, right? Everything working, it takes them right there. It shows their security score. I'm a 728, by the way. Not too bad.
Nice.
They can click go to training and they can see the trainings that they haven't taken and they can watch right now or they can rewatch. And then there's also the option to retake the annual training. So that's what I love about this is it's all within the Outlook interface. And if it needs to go to the portal, it'll take them to the portal, right? But ultimately for your end users, it's just quick, easy, get your training, report fish, move on about your day. But what it's going to do, especially over time, as they take the annuals and then they take the micro trainings, your end users are going to become more and more sophisticated, anti phishing experts, essentially. But they're going to be that part of the layered security that we can't provide directly because we need, as I said earlier on, it's a team effort. We need your help getting your staff to be more educated on all the different cyber threats that are out there that are a threat to your organization. All right.
100%.
I'm going to stop share. And I'm looking at the Q&A. If you have any questions really quick, because we're wrapping up right now, move your mouse down the bottom of your screen. You'll see the Q&A. Go ahead and put it in there real quick. I'm looking, and I've been looking at our questions that we had ahead of time. Um, yeah, so here's one, and I think we covered it, but just since we got a little time, Ethan, it says,
Yeah.
will we still receive a phishing test email through BSN? So we covered that yes, there's going to be ongoing test phishing emails that are going to go out to see if your end users are going to click on it. But they're asking, will there be specific training advised to complete for the staff who failed the phishing test? Like ultimately, if it was something in the email that they should have caught, will there be training tied to that?
So there's going to be an immediate training course that's assigned to you once you click through that failed email. There's a little training rate available, but it is going to negatively impact that score. So that's where you can go back and you'll be able to choose what courses that you want to take to boost that score back up. So that's just going to be any of the micro trainings available. So in that case, no specific signed trainings now, but there is that immediate training available to you
Yeah,
right
okay.
afterwards.
Also, everyone, Craig posted in here that if you're not a manager and you want to be, you like I said, you can reach out directly to your account manager and just let them know, and they'll get a ticket created. We'll make that happen. Or you can just email service@sundogit.com. If you don't mind, just put in the subject BSN manager, please. That'll get it right to the right person before we have to figure out and route and all that. That'll help us expedite that request for you so you can have access to the management portal as well. Ethan, is there anything you feel like we didn't cover or that you love wrapping up and sharing with others?
No, I think we got through it all.
Okay.
I love that you get to show off your score there of a 728. I always want to remind people like getting into that range is perfect, right?
Yeah.
Once you're there, you're good. My score, I think I'm at a 748 right now.
Oh, just
So
had to
no,
one
no
up
need to
me.
brag, but I do work for the company. I know
Yeah.
the tips and tricks. But yeah, have fun with it, right?
Yeah.
It is engaging training. It's real live actors. You're not sitting there looking at a cartoon all day. So it's
And that
you'll have a good time.
and that's what's important for everyone on the call, right? It's modeling the behavior. Go into the portal as a manager, look at see who has what, teams them, be like, hey, I just noticed that you haven't taken any of the micro trainings. Would you mind doing that? We want to get your score up to 600. Maybe you offer an incentive right out of the gate to kick this off of, you're going to give away a $25 Starbucks gift card for whoever has the highest score in the organization. But anything you can do to help us draw attention to this and validate how important it is that people spend the little bit of time required to do these trainings, because the end result is this is about you. This isn't about Sundog. This isn't about any of that. It's about you and your organization and making sure that you are protected, because the intensity of cyber attacks right now has absolutely gone up. And again,
Oh
with
yeah.
artificial intelligence right now, it's getting harder and harder and harder to understand what is a threat when it looks you right in the face, because no longer are we dealing with grammar errors or colloquialisms that aren't quite right for the Midwest or things like that. These are straight up legit, looks like it's coming directly from someone in your office
100%.
or one of your clients. So help us help you by doing everything you can to get staff engaged and involved and taking these trainings. So,
Hey,
all
Cohen,
right.
we do have
Yeah.
one
Oh, we
last
do.
minute Q&A.
Sweet. So Craig, if you, I don't know if you can see this, Craig, but it says, well, you'll see the client that they cannot log in, it says the accounts no longer exist. So I bet that's a simple fix and it's an SSO issue. So we'll get right on that, Justin. Thanks for bringing that to our attention.
Yep, I'm guessing that's an SSO issue.
Yeah,
So
right.
yeah,
So we'll get that resolved for him.
yep.
All right. Anyone else? Last chance. And I shouldn't say last chance. You can always just reach out to us, right? And this is important to me. This was my pet project in our organization. So don't hesitate to reach out to me as well. I just became a grandpa, so I'm going to travel for 5 days here coming up to see my new grandson. But ultimately, you can reach out to me directly if you wanted me to have a one-on-one with you, if you'd like a one-on-one with one of our staff, anything you can do or anything that we can do to help you be successful, we are completely at your disposal because this is important. All right. Well, nope, that's the only one. So recap really quick. We have recorded this. Once it's done chewing through all that, we'll make sure that the account managers send out the recording. They'll send out a couple links in BSN for end user training and also manager training. And I'll make sure that they also put in, hey, if you want to be a manager, here's how you can request to be a manager within Breach Secure Now. So with that, I appreciate everyone taking the time. You all stayed on the whole time, so I assume that meant the content was good. If we need to do this again in the future, we're always happy to. But ultimately, I just want to wish everyone a happy new year. Take the time, get to know these tools because the benefit to your organization is staggeringly good. So, all right, everybody, happy new year. And again, Ethan, Craig, and Joanna, thanks for all your help on this webinar, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye,
Thanks, Colin.
everybody.
Bye.